All right, for segment 1 today, we are starting a new series on Dragonbane. This one won a poll. I put a poll out there, and while the voting was close, it really was, in the end, Dragonbane only won by 1 vote. But Dragonbane won. So Dragonbane is what we are going to talk about now. This is a game that I've likened. Heath and I have actually looked through this game probably a year and a half ago when it was still in its like beta format, however you want to call it, before it was released. And I likened it to 5e meets Forbidden Lands. Now, I'm not a huge 5e fan, but I get it. And Forbidden Lands I absolutely love. So let's see, as we go through these 4 weeks, it's only going to be a 4-week series. If you end up loving this game as well, or if you just like, you know what, I'm going to stick with 5e or Forbidden Lands. But this might be the amalgam that you want. Role-playing games thrive in fantastic worlds and at inclusive tables that embrace these core values for the most positive gaming experience. Donate to the Wounded Warrior Project via the link in the description below to help honor and empower our wounded heroes. On Thursdays and Saturdays, watch Heathen Dog's Dirty Casuals play multiplayer video games over on Twitch. On Sundays and Fridays, join us for tabletop role-playing game content on both YouTube and Rumble. Finally, please take a quick moment to like this video and share it with both your friends and on social media. If you have not done so, please subscribe to Legion of Myth and activate that bell icon to receive notifications of new content. All right, there is our cover of the upside down. Oh no, I guess it's not the Darkwing Duck dropping from the ceiling. Dragonbane. By the way, I don't have the book with me. It's actually out in my other room, so I don't have it here. But the book is pretty thin. What does it say? 116 pages. That's all it is. And yes, I dropped something on my mouse, and now my mouse does not want to move. That's lovely. Ugh. Okay. Anyway, so we're going to go through this character creation today. Now, there are going to be some aspects of this that I kind of skip. I'm going to skip because just to make the episode a decent length, I'm going to skip what is role-playing. I'm going to skip some of the intro stuff, but there are going to be a couple things we do look over. So right off the bat, apparently this is an updated version. So I have the first printing in physical copy. These are the changes that they've made. Action, movement, multiple perform the character's turn. Okay, I mean, just they made changes in here. All right, got it. And we'll scroll down, and we're going to skip the preface. The olden times. We are going to read this little section here because it'll probably give you the theme of the game. Oh, my mouse just won't move anymore. It was in the oldest times, before the world was covered in forest and iron was tamed by dwarven masters, before the advent of humanity and the mastery of the bread and ale-making arts. What? Before ale?
Oh, I don't want to live there.
Yeah, right? The hell's that? The world was then ruled by dragons and demons. Yes, draconic serpents and demonic creatures were the princes and princesses of the oldest times. They were the primordial forces through which the world and its primeval matter was formed. The sky, the mountains, and the fiery oceans of magma and unthinking life. They were opposing principles that made the world complete. Law and order versus chaos and madness. The stable and fixed versus the wild and eternally fluid. Dragons versus demons. The most ancient records tell of a draconic empire that once spanned much of the known world, where the emperor's peace was upheld by cruel dragon-mounted knights. But the text also contained traces of another great power from a different age, governed by demon princes who shrouded the world in madness and savage rage. So far, neither side is looking like the good guy.
No, I'm just thinking folk are just angry.
Yeah, right?
That's all this is.
Remnants of these realms still rest in the earth beneath our feet, in the depths of the great... My mouse won't move. In the depths of the great forests and the chasms of the mountains slumbers... In the chasms of the mountains slumber memories from ancient eras when vicious beasts reigned. The hostility between dragons and demons has brought death and ruin upon their ancient civilizations. It seems almost like a fundamental law of nature that anything created by dragons alone is corrupted by demons, and anything born of demonic will is burned to ashes by dragon fire. However, this basic and incontrovertible truth also gives cause for hope, for it has created the conditions for other nations where humans and other races have been able to flourish and go their own way. But the ancient guardians of order and destruction will never leave the world to its fate. Why? Why? Go away. As sure as night follows day, the time will come again when dragons and demons contend for power over humanity, nature, and the eternal mysteries. That's basically all you're going to get for the world.
Okay.
You theoretically could read the preface up here, but that's more about just the history of where the game came from and so forth. There is no full-on setting for this in what you might consider from a normal game. Don't take that to mean that there's nothing to it. There's definitely themes, and you're going to understand that as you play. But Heathen Dog could easily run a different type of world than what maybe I would run. And it would still be just as viable through the rules of the game. So we're not going to look at the players in Game Master. I know a lot of times we like to look at that stuff, and there's no such thing as playing solo. That's dumb. That's just a choose your own adventure book. Rolling dice. Now, this is one of the things you're going to notice that's different between this game and all of the other freely games we've covered so far. You get to roll D4s, D6s, D8, D10s, D12s, and D20. Have you seen that before in a free league game, Heathen Dog?
No, I have not.
At least not one that we've covered, right?
Nope.
So there we go. So right off the bat, this is done a little differently than what we're used to in other games. So we're definitely going to have to look through the rules here.
And it looks like no specialty dice.
You don't know. You don't have to have specialty dice, no. But there are cards. You don't have to have them, though.
Good.
We'll get into more of this when we cover skills in a couple of weeks, but or is it next week? I think it's next week. Yeah, next week. But to determine whether an action succeeds or fails, you usually roll a d20, rolling equal to or under your skill level. So this is a roll low game. And it makes sense when you compare it to attributes. You don't have to worry about when do I roll high, when do I roll low. Since you're always comparing it to your attributes, and a higher attribute is better than a lower attribute, guess what? Rolling low just makes sense. If you have a boon, also known as advantage if you're a 5e player, you roll 2 d20s for your action and only count the lowest result. If you have a bane, is that disadvantage? Sure. You also roll 2 d20s, but instead only count the highest roll. Skill rolls are explained more in chapter 3. There's actually a way you can get another die on top of that.
So ever since 5e or the d20 system came out, that whole advantage disadvantage thing has been popular into other systems as well.
Well, I first knew about it in 5e. I didn't know about it in 3 or 4, but I also didn't. Well, I played a lot of 3. It was never in 3. But other games did have it. But let's be fair, D&D with the D20 absolutely popularized it. Mm-hmm. And yes, more and more people are using it because, to be fair, the advantage disadvantage or boon and bane system, it's very simple and it's meaningful at the same time. So. All right, we don't care what a role-playing game is, and there's no such thing as playing safely at a table unless somebody's punching you, and if somebody's punching you, call the cops. Safety tools are ridiculous. All right, start playing. So how do you start playing this game? Well, it's like every other role-playing game, right? Well, let's see if this one says something different. Decide who will be the game master. All right. Well, it's going to be you.
The guy who read the book all the way through. There you go.
Right. Have each player create a player character, which we're going to talk about today, or pick one of the pre-generated player characters. Let me F11 this bad boy for a second here. And this is what the color version of the character sheet looks like. Actually, it looks pretty nice, I think.
No, it's
a little flowery for my taste because I usually,
but from a distance, it's symmetrical. It's pleasing enough.
Yeah.
I like it.
I'm just a very static person. Like even the black and white one's too busy for me. I don't need all this stuff on here, but it does look nice. And I mean, look at that. Your hit points are in red. Hint.
Willpower's in green. Get it? Okay.
So, and notice this has a few more skills than what we're used to in Year Zero Engine games. Also.
Yeah, usually in Year Zero Engine games, you have like 12 to 16 skills total.
12 to 16, yep, depending on the game, exactly. Well, Coriolis might have more. I don't know off the top of my head, but yeah, you're right, 12 to 16. And the GM familiarizes himself with the rule book and reads the introduction and opening scene in the adventures book. That is if you're playing through those adventures. We are not going to cover the adventures book. It is literally a second book of about 116 pages also that you get in the box set. We're not going to cover that because I don't want to spoil it for you. And then you let the game begin. I like this. The players are welcome to read the rules as well, but must not read the adventure itself. Yet you put it in the same box set.
Right? Yeah. There's that.
If you see things in these nice little green jade-looking sidebars there, those are optional rules. Now, measuring time. This is going to be important as we go on. There's round, stretch, and shift.
Okay.
Round is 10 seconds. Again, these are approximations, but a round is approximately 10 seconds. So you're going to have 6 rounds per minute, right?
Mm-hmm.
A stretch is 15 minutes. I've complained about the word stretch, but everybody who's played the game says, no, it makes perfect sense. And once you're playing the game, you're not going to complain about it. I'm like, okay, fair enough. I haven't actually played it to know. I just think it sounds silly to me, but maybe it's because I haven't been able to put it in context. But a stretch is 15 minutes, and that's how long it takes to explore a room, take a short rest effectively. What I like about it is it reminds me of turns from like D&D, right? Where a lot of people don't realize this. I don't know why, but in old D&D, in most of the editions, I'm sure there's some exception out there, it took you 1 full turn to search an area. That's 10 minutes in D&D, right? So it makes sense. It takes a stretch for you to take the time to investigate an area. Put your hands through it, look at it with your, loop, poke it with a stick, and all those other things that you need to do to try to make sure it's not trapped or there's something secret there or whatever. And then finally, you have a shift, which is 6 hours. So there can be 4 shifts in a day, very similar to the quarter day of Forbidden Lands for those who have played that. So everything makes sense so far, right?
Sure.
All right. So now we're going to talk about your player character. And yes, this is going to be a long segment, but we're going to get through it. And hopefully we're going to know stuff by the time we get to the end of it. The art style is, for some people, I like it because of its consistency. I also like it because it does have that kind of Vaesen look to it, I guess you'd say. And I think that there are hints of Vaesen in this game, even if it isn't the same type of game. But personally, I'm always for hyper realistic looking. Give me my Elmore, my Parkinson, Michael Whalen, things like that. So you might like the art, you might not. I think it fits the setting, and we'll leave it there. All right. We're not going to talk about pre-generated characters. Once again, Forbidden Lands likes to use the word kin for your race. So we'll go with that here. And there are 6 playable kin in Dragonbane. Human, halfling, dwarf, elf, mallard, and wolfkin.
Mallard? Like the duck?
You like the duck.
You're kidding.
That
was a joke.
No, it's a Swedish thing.
Are there freaking duck people here?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a Swedish thing. That's like you have to understand.
No, it's a stupid thing.
It's a cultural thing. So
it's a dumb thing. Change your culture. God.
Well, I can tell you that people who are running the game, one of the guy who's running the game has 5 mallards in the group.
Well, they must be like TMNT beavers or something.
No, they're Swedish.
Badgers, whatever.
I think they're Swedish. I don't know. I'd have to talk to them. But you have to go away. You're not getting any treats. Nope, get down. Get down. No, you're actually getting down. I will push you off. Thank you. She is getting so insistent about that nonsense. All right. So now you can roll. Most people are going to pick. But there is something I want to say out there for the people who do play mallards and the people who do play wolfkin, and heck, even the people who play elves. Look at what the percentage of those are.
Very low. Most people are going to be human, followed by halfling, and then dwarf in a decreasing percentage chance. And then elf, mallard, and wolfkin are 1 in 12. Human is 1, 2, 3, 4 is 4 in 12. It's crazy.
Get down. Streaming is not treat time. All right, so yes, and that's kind of one of the points that I want to make. Now, does that mean you can't have an all wolfkin or all mallard or all elf or whatever group? No, it doesn't mean that. But if you are playing within the spirit of the game, those percentages probably mean something. Heathen Dog, I'm going to change the topic real quickly for you. What is the number 1 most populous race in Earth Dawn?
In Earth Dawn?
Yep.
Oh, crap, man.
Yeah, I surprised him with this.
If it's Scrang, I'm going to strangle you.
No.
Okay, good.
Here's a hint. There's the hint for you.
It's a dwarf? Really?
Yep.
Well, no, you know what? I get it. I get it. I do get it. Because the dwarven society in the land where the adventures originally take place, dwarves are the best, greatest society, whatever.
Well, yeah, they have the main empire. They're also the one that sent out the Earth Dawn, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah, so
they have the main empire. So I get it. I get that. I do get that. But humans are the best in Earth Dawn, hands down.
The reason why I say that is because, you know what? If you have a group that's mostly dwarves, well, guess what? You're fitting in with that game, that setting.
Yeah.
If you have a
no
group
one's
that's
going to give you
mostly
side eye. Nobody.
exactly, absolutely right. But if you have a group that's all wolfkin, you're just trying to be weird.
Yeah, like if you have a group that's all lizard men and they're going into a dwarven city, which they're mostly are, everyone's gonna like, what are the lizard men doing? Why is there 5-6 lizard men coming into town? What's this nonsense going on? You're gonna get those questions. If you're dwarves and humans, no, you're not gonna get that question. Yeah, they're just dwarves and humans. That's fine.
Or orcs, believe it or not. In Earthdawn, that is here.
In Earthdawn,
all right.
anyway. Yeah.
Let's get back to Dragonbane here. Innate ability. Each kin has an innate ability that no other kin can learn. Mallards have 2, and one of them's really dumb.
Oh, that okay, I get it now.
In most cases, using such abilities requires willpower points. Write down your innate ability in the abilities and spells section on your character sheet. Let's look at the character sheet. Where's our ability? Oh, there you go. Abilities and spells right over here. All right. Language. All player characters in Dragonbane can speak, read, and write a common language, for which simplicity's sake is called the common tongue. Wow.
That's original, but it's
most creatures the player characters encounter know this language, but there may be exceptions. Non-human kin often have their own languages that few humans understand. To understand other languages, the language's skill is used. All right, makes sense. Human. All right, so we're going to jump right into the races. How many did we say that there were? 6? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, let's look at humans. Humans are the last born because you save the best for last. The other kin have songs and legends about time before the dawn of humanity. Today, the humans have spread across much of the known world. Many are peasants living in little villages clustered around castles and palaces. Others are warriors sworn to protect the peasants and their vulnerable settlements, markets, and trade caravans from the dangers of the world. Still, more are adventurers, fearless humans who venture into the unknown in search of glory, gold, and knowledge. And they forgot the fourth one there, death, because adventuring is hard.
Yeah.
So what do humans get? We don't care about the names. Adaptive. Okay, so this kind of continues on with the typical human trope that belongs in all fantasy TTRPGs, right?
Humans can do a little bit of everything. Yeah.
Yeah. Humans are the diversity trope. Humans in Earthdawn, we keep talking about that. I'm going to have to start drinking again, is versatility. So what is adaptive here? When rolling for a skill, you can choose to make the roll using another skill of your choice. You must be able to justify how you use the selected skill instead of the normal one. The GM has the final word, but should be lenient because you're spending 3 willpower points and it's part of your race.
Right.
Does this remind you of something? Have you seen this before?
Yes. Yes, I have. I've seen it a lot, actually. I mean, in many RPGs, the humans can dance around the music, kind of. You know. There's a specific example that is blocking me right now.
Well, Forbidden Lands is when the last time we talked about it.
There was another one though.
Okay.
Damn it. No, I lost it. But
we'll go on here. If you think about it, you can bring it up. But
okay.
But it costs 3 willpower points for you to use this ability, and that's why the GM should be lenient. But you do have to make a case for it. I don't know how you're going to make a case for using, basket weaving to lift a big rock. But if you can,
hey, you know what? Hey, no. Game Master, no, I'm using my basket weaving to weave together vines to make them stronger to tie around the rock and then lift it up with a pulley system. It's simple.
Okay. You know what? Take a shift of time to make that happen, and there you go. Now you can use your basket weaving skill instead of your, whatever skill it would be.
Instead of your rigging skill or whatever it should be.
Right. Why is this not zooming out? There we go. All right. And that's kind of what humans might look like, I guess. All right. Now we're to the stumpy people. Zoom in. We get both halflings and dwarves, but you know what? Let's just start with halflings. Halflings are short humanoids often found in hilly farmlands where they live in earthen dwellings with well-stocked larders. They are modest and amiable by nature with a natural affinity for hearth and home. This is not like the Forbidden Lands halflings.
No.
Halflings are neither warlike nor ambitious, but highly drawn to epic tales and beautiful songs from days long gone. From time to time, this desire can lead them to leave the safety of their homes in search of grand adventures. Because of their vulnerability and fear of the tall ones, they're good at staying hidden and quickly getting out of critical situations.
Cow.
Now, Heathen Dog, do you prefer this more traditional halfling or the Forbidden Lands halfling?
I like the more traditional halfling.
Okay.
I mean, you look at a halfling and you know what you got.
Fair enough.
I like that.
Okay. Dwarves are the oldest of the. Oh wait, hold on. Do I have to scroll down here? Something for the
scroll down to get to their their
there we
special
go.
ability.
Halfling ability is hard to catch. Okay, again, it's Forbidden Lands. You can activate this ability when dodging an attack, getting a boon to the evade roll.
Oh, okay. So 3 willpower, and you get to roll 2d20 in
And
your
take the lowest one,
dodging an attack. Okay.
That's cool.
Yeah. I mean, you can't do it a lot. I didn't see a whole bunch of possible willpower points, but yeah, you can do some.
I mean, it could save your life, right?
Oh yeah. That big giant axe that's bigger than you, that's coming down your head. Yeah, you don't want to say hi to that. So yeah, I get it.
Dwarves are the oldest of the elder folk, well, at least according to their own chroniclers. They are an immensely proud and traditional people whose culture is steeped in ancient customs and grandiose ballads of heroic ancestors. Dwarves feel a strong connection with the bedrock and roots of the world. They are skilled blacksmiths and artisans, admired for their ability to craft wondrous items of precious metal, as well as of iron and stone. Dwarves are also known as fierce warriors, armed with axes, warhammers, and other heavy melee weapons forged in their underground smithies. Okay. Unforgiving. That sounds like a dwarf.
Yeah.
You can activate this ability when attacking someone who harmed you in the past, so did at least 1 point of damage to you, and get a boon to the roll.
Wow.
Back in 5th grade.
You stabbed me with a ruler.
It does not matter when the damage was inflicted. It may be wise to write down the names of everyone who harms you so you do not forget them.
Wow. Okay. That is super powerful. That is.
Well, you still have to activate it with willpower points.
Yeah, but it's as long as that person did a single point of damage to you, it's forever. Dwarves are captains of not letting crap go.
Yeah, right. Who remembers longer, dwarves or an elephant? We don't know. And let's do the elf first. It's on this side. There we go. Zoom in on that so you guys can read it as well. Elves are an ancient kin that for eons have watched over the forests of the world. They are guided by the stars, which they regard as divine beings capable of peering into the deepest mysteries. Elven culture is meditatively introverted and sometimes difficult for outsiders to understand. However, it is clear that they are driven by other, more metaphysical concerns than the lust for gold and glory, often found in dwarves and humans. Nonetheless, their kin include many powerful warriors, widely respected and praised by the bards for their skill with both sword and bow.
Okay, they're a bunch of hippies with good PR teams. That's all. That's what I read. All right.
I hope this isn't the same inner peace as Forbidden Lands. I really do hope it's not. Notice it's no willpower points.
None. Yeah. Okay.
As an elf, you can meditate deeply during a stretch rest, so the equivalent of a short rest for you D&D folks, so 15 minutes. Mm-hmm. You heal an additional D6 hit points and an extra D6 willpower. Okay. And can recover from an additional condition. You are completely unresponsive during your meditation and cannot be awakened. Okay, it's not as powerful as the Forbidden Lands one, but pretty dang cool. If you live through a fight, doesn't matter how badly you're hurt, you'll be okay.
Wow. And because you are completely unresponsive, you are actually upholding the idea that elves are aloof and dickish.
Or one with the world, however you want to look at it.
No, I'm gonna go with the former because
okay.
the latter is some hippy dippy star sign nonsense, and I don't like that.
Okay. And now we get to everybody's favorite mallard. I tried to like the mallard. I couldn't. And you know me, I do like anthropomorphic animals.
You do. He likes animals that are shaped like people. I hate it, but he likes it. So if he still hates the mallard, there's something wrong with it.
It's not because it's a duck. Go look at my After the Bomb series. The character I created there was Dodger the duck. That duck was pretty darn cool. But let's look at the mallard. The origin of the mallards is shrouded in mystery. Some scholars claim that they came from a mighty island realm that was swallowed by the sea thousands of years ago. Others believe them to be the result of failed magical experiment. Whatever the truth might be, these feathered humanoids are a common sight in the world. Oh, they have a knack for trade, and their agitated quacking is often an integral part of the soundscape around marketplaces and trade caravans. All right, I want you to go watch Donald Duck, and then I want you to put it on 4 different TVs in the house, no, in your room, and see if you're not annoyed. However, some mallards seek their fortunes as brigands, pirates, or mercenaries. Despite their diminutive size, they are fierce in battle and feared by many for their murderous rage.
Well, yeah, man. I mean, ducks are dicks. I mean, geese are worse, but they're all mean.
Sorry, my mouse is moving very slowly here, and I can't look at comments. So that's awesome. Can you put that comment up from not up, but to start from Rumble, please?
I can't see Rumble. Oh yeah, I can. There it is.
Oh, okay. Well, I was gonna say save it for later, but since it's up there, yeah, duck shit with cat girls, awesome. Okay.
No cat girls here. Sorry about that.
Yeah. Let me get back to there. We go. All right. So why do I have a problem with the mallards? Because this is a murder hobo jerk player's dream. Hey, I get to play something weird. Yep. That's not another game.
All other folk.
Sure. And it hates everybody else. So let's go look at its abilities. What's this first ability say? Just the name of it, Heathen Dog.
It says ill-tempered.
Yep. For 3 willpower points, mallards tend to have a choleric temper. You can activate this ability for no action when making a skill roll and get a boon to your roll. You also become angry if you're not already.
Angry with a capital A, which means it's probably a game term.
And we will get to that next week.
Great.
This ability cannot be used for rolls against intelligence or intelligence-based skills because when you're that angry...
You're not thinking.
Exactly. Oh, but did you remember that they get 2 abilities?
Yes.
Web feet. As a mallard, you also get a boon to all swimming rolls. You always move at full speed in or underwater. And before you poo-poo that one and say, so? Swimming is one of those skills that players overlook all constantly.
Yeah. Swimming and for some reason cooking and fishing. They're like, it's someone else's problem. Well, if no one takes it, it's everyone's problem. So yeah, this is good. As for a free ability, swimming is a good deal. I'll take it. It's a good deal. That's fine.
Off the cuff, I actually like the mallard. But when you watch people play and you hear people talk about how they play the mallard, it's every dumb player trope that you've ever heard of.
I want to play a half ogre, half minotaur. He's angry at life and himself. He cuts himself constantly.
Wow.
Because he killed his mom during giving birth, and his dad left because he couldn't stand the sight of him, so he's angry all the time, just like me. Rah 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 rah. Grow up, man.
Hey, just remember, on Redbubble, one of the shirts that I sell is a half-orc standing there and says, half-orc? My dad left me too.
There it is. Truth.
Wolfkin. Wolfkin are the untamed fury of the wilds. They may be highly intelligent creatures, and like the elves, they have an unfailing tendency to sink into thought, pondering the mysteries of the universe. But simmering under the surface are ancient hunting instincts and an unquenchable anger over past wrongs committed against Wolfkin, wolves, and the wilderness in general. Oh, great! You wrap in wolves too? Okay, that's like me wrapping in monkeys.
This is worse because these are wolf eco-terrorists apparently. And those guys cannot be reasoned with any form of logic. So,
as hunters and pathfinders, they're second to none. But Wolfkin can also be found as heavily armed mercenaries or mystics and healers in human settlements. Well, the dog licked your wound and made you feel better?
Dogs. That's what we do. You're welcome.
All right, hunting instincts. You can use this ability to designate a creature in sight or a creature you can catch the scent of as your prey. Okay, again, this very, very, very similar to Forbidden Lands. They tweaked them a little bit, but these are, if you've played Forbidden Lands, you're looking at all these and be like, oh, okay, yeah. This counts as an action in combat. You can follow the scent of your prey for a full day, and you can spend 1 further willpower, not as an action, to gain a boon for the attack against your prey.
When you finally find it.
Yeah. And it makes sense. I'm one of those people that says you don't have to say not an action. That just makes sense. But I know how people get about rules of game. So
yeah. I like that a lot, because not only, you're hunting them, but you spent willpower points, you spend 1 more, and now you're stalking them. So when you actually get in there and find them, you give yourself the advantage right off the bat.
Mm-hmm.
I like that.
All right, let's go to possession. Not possession, profession, because I can't talk. The next step is to select a profession for your character. All the player characters are adventurers, but you have learned a thing or two before the game begins. Your choice of profession will determine much about your character, mainly your skills. 6 of your trained starting skills, which we'll get into next week, must be chosen from the listed here. Okay, I think they give a list of 8. 6 of them you must take. All right. Your profession also determines what gear you start with and which heroic ability you get, which again we will talk about next week. There are 10 professions to choose from, all described on the following pages. You are free to select a profession or roll one randomly using the table. I go either way on that one. You know me, I like randomness, but at the same time, if I kind of have an idea for a character, I want to go with that too. So
yeah. So they look pretty good. Artisan is a little weird. I'd like to read that one, but
go ahead.
I can't. I lost the list.
Oh, so no. So we'll go down each one. But Artisan, I bet you it's like the weaponsmith from Earthdawn, and we love
that's what it looks like.
We really like the weaponsmith. Oh, I did. I think he did as well. Yeah. All right, we're not going to read his quote. We're just going to go down to what he does. With a decent hammer, a trowel, and mortar, a skilled artisan can astonish even the gods. They are proud individuals, these tamers of nature and physical matter, whether they be builders, bricklayers, wainwrights, blacksmiths, tanners, or coopers. Really, you had to do like the entire list. The artisans are driven by a solemn mission to bring order and structure out of chaos. They construct bridges, houses, and fortifications, forge weapons and tools, mold pots and jugs. That's useful. I mean that. I wasn't saying that sarcastically.
No. The one thing they're missing is cobbler.
Shoes, yeah.
You need shoes, man. You need to repair shoes. Overland travel is a thing here. You need good shoes.
Mold pots and jugs, make barrels, and craft leather armor from tanned animal hides. Maybe it falls under that. I don't know. Every village needs capable artisans, and they're often greatly respected for their practical and extremely useful expertise.
Yep.
One of the things that I find funny about almost every fantasy role-playing game is they treat artisans as high-class people. In the real world, artisans were treated like crap. Now, a blacksmith wasn't considered an artisan.
No, he was essential to the building and maintaining of whatever village, town, wherever that they were, because he made all the nails, he made all the horseshoes, to make everything go. He made everything to make everything go. If you piss off your blacksmith, you're boned. I guess blacksmith and artisan is the term, changeable term here.
Again, a lot of fantasy role-playing games do it. So key attribute strength. Now I'm going to be upfront with you. I know what key attribute means in Forbidden Lands. I don't know what it means here. So we're going to have to find that out either next week or as we go through this character creation process. Skills. Axes, brawling, crafting, hammers, knives, sleight of hand, spot hidden, swords. When we go through skills next week, we are not going to read them all, by the way. We're going to just do what we normally do, find a choice couple that we want to look at. But so he has to take 6 of these. Of the 8. Can he take all 8? I suppose if he has enough points for it. How many points you get? We'll find that out. And you get 1 heroic ability. Again, even though the rule system is different, you roll in all the dice and you've got the advantage and disadvantage or boon and banes mixed in and so forth. Doesn't this really still feel like a Year Zero engine game?
I haven't played enough.
You get the 3 abilities.
Yeah,
you only get to pick these would be talents for the other games. Yeah.
And I get them too. Master blacksmith, that's going to be, weapons, stuff like that. Master carpenter is going to be vehicles and buildings, and master
Shields.
Tanner is going to be armor, most likely, if you're making armor out of leather, and clothing.
Yep.
Boots and stuff like that, gloves, ropes, maybe. I don't know. But all of it's going to be useful, but it's going to be situational.
Can you roll me a d6?
I do not have any D6
Okay,
with me.
no problem. I have an actual official Dragonbane d6 right here.
Oh,
It looks
good for
like
you.
just a green d6. That's all it is. In fact, I didn't know I had Dragonbane dice until I went through my green dice and found out, like, oh crap, those are Dragonbane dice. They are not special. And
Oh no, there is no rolling for this gear. I can see it right now. No.
I got a 4.
Well, then you had better have taken heroic carpenter.
Hand axe, leather armor, carpentry tools, torch, rope, hemp rope, okay, flint and tinder, D8 food rations, and D8 silver. Yeah, I guess I see your point.
And
I don't think it says you have to roll.
Yeah, no, you do not roll this. Whatever heroic thing you choose, either blacksmith, carpenter, or tanner, and then you choose the appropriate gear, or else you're gimping yourself for no reason.
Yeah, I mean, it says it right there. I agree with that. I normally would say, come on, just roll, but in this case, he's 100% right. Or maybe you roll first and then pick. No, that'd be silly.
Yeah.
All right, let's go. So do we find out what he can do? Really? Okay, just craft stuff. Okay, master blacksmith, master carpenter, master tanner. All right, let's move on to the bard. Put some shoes on. Gross. The memory of ancient deeds and riches kept alive by the bards. They are singers, musicians, and entertainers. Many travel between inns and marketplaces where they earn their keep through the telling of ballads and fairy tales. Others perform at princely courts, reciting glorious poems of dragons and heroic kings. Many bards see themselves as chroniclers responsible for preserving contemporary deeds in the memory of future generations. They're always on the lookout for people and achievements worthy of being immortalized in epic verse, and any bard worth his salt is always working on at least a few masterpieces of song, music, or poetry. I like this and I hate it at the same time, and here's why. Very rarely, and this is the thing I like, very rarely does a game actually put out there what a freaking bard is supposed to do. Yet, there's only one game I've ever played that mandates it. I'm going to mention it again. What's that?
Drink.
Time to. Yep, you knew what I was going to. Earth, because it mandates that you're the historian, the chronicler. Your job is to keep that history and lore alive, and that's how you actually grow. I love the fact that this game mentions it. But it still leaves enough loose ends where you could just be out there and be the guy that plays a lute for a dragon and seduces it, which is retarded. So, but
dragons are horny, baby.
I mean, but off the cuff, I like it. Key attribute, charisma, that makes sense. Acrobatics, bluffing, evade, knives, languages, myth and legend, performance, and persuasion. So it gives kind of the swashbuckler feel to it if that's the direction you want to go. And heroic ability, musician, just one?
Just one? Really?
Yep. Okay, well, that's to start the game. So you're a musician. Next week, we'll have to find out what that does. I hope it does something good. Remember, in Forbidden Lands, it heals. So maybe it does that here. All right,
maybe it buffs. I don't know.
Yeah. Now we've got the fighter. I bet he fights. Oh, do we want to look at the bard equipment? No, let's just move on.
No.
You get the idea of the equipment. Fighters earn their living by following the way of the sword. It may, of course, also be the way of the spear or crossbow, but a fighter's specialty is always weapon proficiency and violence. Okay.
Yeah, that makes sense.
To say that all fighters are driven by bloodlust. For some, it's a matter of professional pride. I just really like to make people bleed to achieve the maximum effect with minimal bloodshed. Oh, well, okay, maybe not. And others are lazy and prefer saber rattling to actual combat. If you see
I don't call it lazy. As a matter of you want to save the most lives. Intimidation may be your answer. It doesn't mean he's lazy.
Many fighters are troubled souls, haunted by nightmares and bad memories of a life spent in the company of death. They can therefore be surprisingly sentimental, prone to tears and compassionate embraces.
No, they are not. Okay. What is wrong with the person who wrote this nonsense?
Nope, I understand it. I don't like it either, and you know this, but I understand it. It is to remind people just because you're a fighter, you don't have to be a murder hobo. And they did it.
You're right. You don't have to be murder, but they got that with the minimal bloodshed thing, and the saber rattling was a little off mark, but in the right area. And then you have the surprisingly sentimental, prone to tears. The fact it says prone instead of able. Able is fine. Prone to tears and compassionate embraces is sissy behavior, and that causes a fight.
The prone doesn't bother me as much simply because it's got the leader of Ken over here. Doesn't mean I have to, but yeah. Again, I understand why it's there. I'm with you on that. That it doesn't need to be, but I get it. Oh wait, that's right. We're over here now. Key attribute strength kind of makes sense. You're fighting axes, bows, brawling, crossbows. That probably isn't strength. Evade, hammers, spears, swords, and heroic ability is veteran. So far, the bard and the fighter only get one heroic ability.
Yeah.
One
choice anyway.
Well, yeah. To start. Mm-hmm. And here are the things that you can roll to get in broadsword, short sword, long spear, etc., etc., etc.
Yeah, it depends on the skills you take. That'll be the gear you take. Because if you take hammer as your skill, you don't want a broadsword or a knife or whatever.
All right, hunter, ranger. All right, let's scroll in here. Snaring hares, knifing boars, and silently stalking deer in the depths of the forest with arrows on their bowstring. Hunters live for the hunt and the catch, killing one's prey in a respectful manner and making use of all of its parts for food, clothes, tools, and weapons. It's a sacred calling for all true hunters. Very, very Native American focused.
Yeah. But I get it.
Yeah, I like the fact that well, to be fair, we're gonna keep mentioning Earthdawn today. How is the Beastmaster in Earthdawn? Beastmaster isn't just some ravaged, animal abuser. Somebody who respects nature. So I get this. I actually kind of like that it's written in there. Sometimes I think the word choice is weird, but I like the intent. Home and destiny are in the wilds, the magnificent, untamed, and cruel. That is where they find peace of mind and gather their strength. That is where the ruthless gods dwell. Many hunters are therefore quite solitary and sometimes find it difficult to behave properly among people. Well, you just kind of ruined some.
No, that makes sense. I mean, behave in a civilized manner, right? Well, civilized doesn't keep you alive outside of civilization, so they don't bother with it. I get it.
So you got acrobatics, awareness, bow, bushcraft, hunting and fishing, knives, slings, and sneaking. Again, very, very ranger-oriented. And companions. Let me guess, you get an animal.
Yeah.
Can I have a wolfkin or a mallard as an animal?
Probably not.
Why? Prove to me you're no, never mind. And those are the items.
Slavery.
Would it? It's a duck.
Yeah.
I want a new duck. Well, I won't try to.
Anyway. Weird Al people.
Knight. All right, let's get to somebody who likes to ride on horseback. Knights are warriors who have sworn fealty to a higher power. Okay, right off the bat, first sentence, I like that. You are not, I'm a knight errant Ronin. No. Fealty to a higher power, such as an order of knights, a liege lord, or a god for you paladin types out there. This oath of fealty lies at the heart of his worldview and existence. It always, very, very important word there, includes rules and principles the knight must obey in thought and deed. Demands for chivalry and a noble mind are often combined with an implacable hatred for anything deemed contrary to the spirit of the oath. Many knights are part of an order, but they're also... you just ruined it.
No, hang on. Keep going. It could fix itself.
Okay, but there are also lone knights who have devoted their lives to defending something specific, perhaps a person or a place that gives their life a higher purpose. That's gray area.
Okay, they still have direction and guidance. They still have something that they must believe in, but it's just in a narrower view.
It's a gray area for me because I've seen all those dumb 5e paladins that don't have to follow
I know, but it didn't go all the way that way.
That's fair.
It didn't
That's
go
fair.
Yeah.
Key attribute strength, beast lore, hammers, myths and legend, performance, persuasion, riding, spears, and swords. So it does kind of have that uppity up cultural side with was it performance, persuasion? Or well, actually they'd be more leadership.
Myths and legends. I mean yeah.
But of course, it also has some, kicking butt and taking initials because he doesn't have time for names with hammers, swords, and spears. So, and heroic ability guardian, which we'll talk about next week. Let's move on.
You bonuses when you're actually guarding somebody.
Yeah, I mean, you have your oath, you have your codes and so forth. So yeah, I can see that. Magic will be the last week, by the way, just so you know.
Okay.
Mages, and I have no clue how magic works in this game. Literally none. So. Mages have learned to control the ancient forces that permeate nature and the primordial structures of the world. It is not a uniform profession, but includes a motley crew of individualists and headstrong eccentrics. Oh, great. There are several schools of magic with different views on what magic is and how it works. In the core game, so maybe there are expansions, right? In the core game, you can choose between animism, elementalism, and mentalism. Oh, they're psionics. No.
Well, hang on. If it works exactly like magic, it's just another school of magic. And
I know.
you know, that's better than making it than telling people it's different, but it's not really.
Yeah, I just don't like the whole magic nonsense, but I get it. Animists believe that everything in the world has a spiritual presence and sees magic as a power lent by nature's spirits.
The force. Okay.
Elementalists describe magic in terms of 4 elements that constitute the essence of all things. Mentalists say that magic comes from within and that it can be manifested through self-control and discipline. I told you.
Second edition D&D psionics. Got it. Okay.
Willpower, which makes sense because magic is, in mythology is about the will. Animus, okay, gives a bunch of different skills here. We're not going to read them all, but let's see what the heroic ability is. I bet you it's spellcasting. Yeah, as a mage, you don't get starting heroic ability. Instead, you get.
Oh man, just because I got magic, I don't get anything else. The damn duck gets 2. I don't get 1. Shut up.
Well, duck is a race, and your race would still, or kin, you'd still get 1. I just kind of foresaw this because of Forbidden Lands. Sorry. What is this?
Magic is better than everybody else's thing. So shut up.
You must select a school of magic. Okay, as a newly created mage, you may choose 3 rank 1 spells and 3 magic tricks. Are those cantrips? You can only choose spells from your school or from the general magic category. You also get a grimoire where all your spells are listed. Okay, we'll get to chapter 5 in 4 weeks, whatever. Mariner. I bet you this is a useless class.
Well, it depends. I mean, are you based on the shore, or is it a coastal campaign? I don't know.
Okay, a niche class for just sea campaigns. Foaming waves and ships sailing fearlessly through dark waters are the domain and calling of the mariner. Some seafarers are forever sworn to the high seas. Others stick to rivers and lakes. Oh, you're Scrang. But,
yep.
But all of them have one thing in common: a symbiotic relationship with the element of water, often a specific lake, river, or bay.
Okay, this is way too specific. There's no adventuring around if your specific element is a water, not only water, but this particular water.
This relationship is always complicated based on love, respect, and mortal dread in equal measure. This is getting weird. Otherwise, the seafaring profession is wide and varied, covering everything from coastal pirates, privateers, and surly ferrymen to whalers, explorers, and authoritative captains of maritime trade expeditions. This went into this talking out of both sides of his mouth.
Yeah. I mean, the first half, the first 3/4 of that paragraph makes me understand why manatees are so scared when they see ships, right? Because they're gonna get violated, and then the last half is like a French captain trying to screw everyone over type thing. I'm getting that picture.
I now know what game The Deep belongs in from The Boys.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. The first 3/4 of this paragraph. Yeah, that's where he belongs.
Agility, acrobatics, awareness, hunting and fishing, knives, language, seamanship, swimming, and swords. Okay. Yeah, I mean, all that makes sense.
Not
and heroic ability. What's that?
Have boning fish in here. I guess that's a talent, not a skill.
Well, sea legs. I don't know what that is, but that could be a double entendre. We don't know.
It could be. Yeah.
And the stuff that you can get. And your nickname is Salt Splash, so that's dumb. Okay. Merchant. Sorry, we got 10 of these to go through, and I don't want to take 4 hours for this live stream, so I am kind of moving on. Merchant. Now, I actually like the peddler in Forbidden Lands. Let's see if the merchant is like the peddler. Buying cheap and selling dear is the golden rule of merchants. No commodity is too commonplace, no deal too small or insignificant. Inside every piece of copper is a future gold coin, and inside every creature, living or undead, is a customer with needs and dreams of luxury. Do undead really care about that?
No, they actually do. I mean, all of the thinking undead usually wear... Yeah, they usually wear really nice clothing, and they live in, albeit dilapidated, but beautiful mansions. They gotta like it, right?
I was thinking skeletons and zombies, but you made a very good point there. Yes. The only thing more important than the customer's wishes is the sweet clatter of gold and silver pouring into the coffers. Some merchants run permanent shops in towns, villages, and other settlements. Others travel with trade caravans and adventuring companies in constant search of exotic luxury goods, new customers, and marketable artifacts.
Okay.
Charisma makes sense. Awareness, bartering, bluffing. Wow. Bartering and bluffing. Well, if I can't convince you, I'm going to lie to you. Evade, because you lied to somebody. Got it. Nice, because you lied to somebody. Persuasion, to lie to somebody. Sleight of hand, because your lie failed.
Somebody.
And spot hidden.
Make sure they don't trick you.
It all makes sense. And heroic ability, treasure hunter. I smell
That's their heroic ability. Okay.
Well, we'll find out what heroic abilities are next week. This might be a good one to look at.
Cornelius, baby.
Oh my God, I have not heard that name in forever. Was that Looney Tunes?
If you don't know it, there's an old 60s, 70s claymation Rudolph the Red-Nosed. No,
that's right.
Rudolph the Red-Nosed. Right. Yeah, and there's a character in there called Yukon Cornelius. All he does is throw his pickaxe in the air. It lands on the ice. He licks it, and he's like, "Nope, no gold."
That's right. Oh my God, scholar. And you know who you want your scholar? An angry duck. But let's move on.
Ugh.
Scholarly individuals gather knowledge about nature and the shrouded history of the world. They seek truth in order to understand the unseen forces and deep structures that hold the universe together as a single entity. Some are specialists with specific areas of expertise, such as monsters, plants, or dead languages. Others pride themselves in avoiding limitations and dedicating themselves to an all-encompassing, non-discriminatory pursuit of knowledge. Wow. Where the mating calls of dragons and the foaming of beer and the inner workings of minerals are all covered by the same academic system. I would say you got some crazy man issues. Scholars are often well-versed in myths, legends, and folklore and have learned to decipher ancient languages and forgotten scripts.
Okay, this right here, I don't know if you've seen it, but there's a series of made-for-TV movies and an actual 4-season long TV series called The Librarian or The Librarians.
I've heard of it.
And it starred Noah Wyle from ER like 30, 40 years ago. And he had like 15 PhDs, and he was tasked to be the librarian, someone who, keeps magic and magic items safe from other people. But his big thing was he knew so much about everything that he could think his way into success in anything. And that's kind of what I think they're going for here.
You know what I like about the scholar, though? I like that it's separated from the bard.
Yes. The bard makes up stories, and this guy actually knows real things.
Yeah. So if you have a bard and you have a historian, I don't know a good example of a bard, but you have Josephus, actually trying to tell you what really happened, and then you have the artisan that's trying to embellish it so you remember it.
Right.
Intelligence, awareness, beast lore, bushcraft, evade, healing, languages, myth and legend, spot hidden.
Healing. Oh, the first time we've seen someone who can heal people.
Yeah, that's true. Well, he's going to know his herbs and alchemy, right?
Yeah, fair enough.
Heroic ability, intuition. Now that's
interesting. I bet it's based off all of his knowledge that he can make a leap conclusion based on stuff he already knows.
I've got a gut feeling, but really his gut feeling is all his amassed knowledge.
Yeah,
just kind
of all his amassed knowledge giving him an answer subconsciously. That's what it really is.
And all right, you can have your stuff. Thief cannot have, and thank you for calling it thief, not rogue.
That means he's a stealer guy.
Thieves see themselves as professional experts specialized in the acquisition of other people's property.
That's a really, really great way to say I'm a dirty thief.
Yeah. Well, you saw the movie Half Baked, right? I'm a custodial engineer or a janitor if you want to be a dick about it. Well, here I specialize in the acquisition of other people's property, or a thief if you want to be a dick about it.
There you go.
It's it's a proud and surprisingly principled profession.
Pass.
They like No honor among thieves? I don't know. They like to refer to solemn principles of honor and honesty among thieves, something that is often hard to take seriously for theft victims and other outsiders. Many thieves organize themselves into guilds because people want to stab them for taking stuff. Others take pride in working independently and walk alone through the night and the shadows. Some are discreet specialists whose only method is guile. But the thief profession also includes brutal brigands who do not hesitate to use weapons to achieve their ends. So basically, everybody's a thief.
Well, no, there's what they're talking about is a specialized thief. You know, there's the con man who can, you know, get your stuff and walk out of town, and it'll be 3-4 days before you know you've been robbed. And then there's the mugger. We're just gonna mug them.
I couldn't do it. I had coffee in my.
Yeah, there's the brutal brigand, and then there's the second story man. You know, you steal in the middle of the night, get in, get out, no one knows. There you go, right? So yeah, choose your dirty bastard, basically.
Oh, hello. What are we? We're muggers.
We're muggers. What are we gonna do? We're gonna mug them.
Mug them, girl. Okay, so let's see what you get. Agility makes sense. Sure. Acrobatics, awareness, bluffing, evade, knives, sleight of hand, sneaking, spotted. You are a one-trick pony here, buddy.
Yeah.
Oh, you got the knives, I guess, but yeah, you're a one-trick pony.
After that, this is all you do, man. This is it. And I'm glad you got backstabbing as your heroic ability, because that's the only way you're going to win a fight.
Okay. And the stuff you can possibly get. All right, how many more do we have left? Oh, okay, we're done. Those are all the classes. Woo! Finally, jeepers creepers. Now, the next thing you do, and this is very typical of user engine games, so let's choose your age. We're just going to, it doesn't actually have a chart here. Oh, there we go. So this is what's going to happen. You pick your age, old, young, adult, old. You can roll a d6, or you can, I hope you can pick it. You should be able to pick it. Make the kind of character you want. So what do you get? You get trained skills 6 plus 2. So remember we said you start with, I'm guessing this skill points. 6 trained skills must be selected from your profession. The rest may be chosen freely, up to a maximum of 18. So this just says skills. It doesn't say skill points, at least as of yet. So you can have 8 skills as a young dude or 12 skills as an old man. But what do you lose? Well, you gain agility and con. So you don't get a lot of skills to start the game out, but you have agility and constitution +1. You know,
young and more vigorous. Yeah,
a little healthier, a little more nimble. And what happens when you turn old? Well, you get to start the game off with a lot of skills, but your strength, agility, and constitution are all -2. You know what I like though? Look at this. Intelligence and willpower are all +1.
Yep.
That's a good balance.
Now, I'm reserving judgment on this until somewhere it tells me that you can actually age in game and get the minus once you hit old age. If that happens, and lose your bonus from going from young to adult, you lose those +1 bonuses. If that happens, I'm all about it. If
I didn't see that. I didn't see anything like an age chart up here for races. You know, so I partially agree with Heathen Dog. I agree with his assessment that, yes, characters need to be able to get old and be affected by these. I'm personally of the type, when it comes to rule books, that it doesn't have to say it because it's already so heavily implied. You should do that as a game master. But I think we both know enough people like, well, it doesn't say in the book I actually aged a year. It doesn't say in the book how long training takes. It doesn't say what age I turn old. So, you know.
Exactly. That's the big rub. If there's no chart as to each race, what is young, what is adult, and what is old, you'll never know if you age into it.
Like I said, I like the idea of the game master being able to say it. Yeah. Like, look, I'm telling you at 40. Well, why 40? Because I'm the game master and this is my setting, my world, and this is what I said. At the same time, Heathlug's right, because you know that will just start arguments if you don't actually have a real. Okay, so let's read about these attributes. Your adventure has 6 base attributes that indicate your base physical and mental capabilities on a scale from 3 to 18. Starting scores: roll 4. Oh, boo! Roll 46.
Common.
I know common. It should be common because you house rule it and you're a douche nozzle, not because it's coded into the game. Roll 46 and remove the worst die, which gives you a score between 3 and 18. Yeah, how do you get a 3? You have to roll 4 ones. That's the only way to get a 3. What are the odds of that?
Very low.
Yeah. Anyway, whatever. I'm anti that. I'm one of those people that believes in the 3d6 rolling method, but whatever. Between 3 and 18, assign that score to an attribute of your choice. Repeat this process 5 more times until you have the assigned score to each attribute. You must assign each score as you roll them. Okay. But once you're done, you may swap 2 scores. Okay, that's an interesting way of doing it. So you roll in order, but if you want these 2 flipped, you can do that. Okay. Then you adjust your attributes based on your age. Note that you can never have more than 18 in an attribute, regardless of your age. Once assigned, your attributes rarely change during the game. Okay. Strength.
I don't like that, but I suppose I get it. I just don't like it.
It's pretty old school. I mean, most like D&D doesn't have a way of raising stuff. You know. Strength, raw muscle power, constitution, physical fitness, resilience, agility, body control, speed, fine motor skills, intelligence, mental acuity, intellect, reasoning skills, willpower, self-discipline and focus, and charisma, force of personality, and empathy. Man, the game's always got to have empathy in it. Derived ratings. Now, this is where after you have your attributes, or do they call them attributes or ability scores? Attributes. After you have your attributes, you get your derived ratings. Movement is how far you can move in a combat round. It's based on your kin, then modified by your agility. So, Heathen Dog's a human, and go ahead, roll 3d6 or 4d6. Oh, you don't have d6s. We'll just say he's got a 15. Seems to be a number we like to use a lot. So he's an agility of 15. He gets +2. So as a human, he'd have a movement rate of 12. And that's 12 meters per 10 seconds. Okay. I don't care if that's accurate for humanity. It's based on the game, guys. What?
Okay. For a second, I thought the mallard was 10. I'm like, how is that waddling piece of crap able to keep up with a human? I don't get that. Okay, but they're 8. Okay, got it.
Just like the other show folk. So your damage bonuses increases the damage inflicted by your attacks. You have 2 separate damage bonuses, one for strength-based weapons, one for agility-based weapons. I like that.
Yep.
So Heathen Dog has got his strength of 15 because he wants to chop people up, so he gets a D4 bonus to damage rolls. Now, I don't know what damage looks like in this game. I don't know if that's a lot, a little, but, I mean, hey, a D4 is a D4, right? Hit points. This rating determines how much damage you can take. Your maximum number of hit points is equal to your constitution. So because we like to do 15s down the road to make life easy for everybody because we didn't roll, he's got 15 hit points, but can be increased with the heroic ability Robust, which none of those
nobody got in the beginning, which is good. I like that.
Yep. Willpower points. Willpower points are used for magic as well as innate and heroic abilities. Your maximum number of will point is equal to your willpower. That is a change from Forbidden Lands where the max is 10. But if you also notice in this game, things cost 3 willpower points, when Forbidden Lands it costs 1 willpower point. So his 15, that means he can use an ability because most of them cost 3. He can use his BS ability because he's human, right? His BSing the Game Master ability, he can use it 5 times. So, all right, skills. This is where things do get a little weird. So the base chance of a skill. Every skill in the game is based off your attributes, and every skill you have a base chance, even if you don't raise the skill. Okay? So let's put that out there.
Sure.
Your skills are measured by skill level on a scale from 1 to 18. The higher, the better. Every skill is connected to an attribute which determines your base chance in that skill. So obviously somebody with higher attribute is going to have a higher natural ability to do a skill. That makes sense. This is indicated on character sheet and in chapter 3. The base chance is a free skill level that you get automatically. In addition to the base chances, you start out with a number of trained skills, 8, 10, or 12, depending on your age. At the start of the game, your level in a trained skill is equal to twice the base chance. So if you have knife fighting as a trained skill, and remember, Heathen Dog's got 15 in strength, agility, and everything else, his base skill is 6. But because it's trained, he chose as a trained ability, it is now at 12. At this point, he needs to roll a 12 or less to be successful with it before we figure anything else into it. All right? So your 6 of your trained skills must be selected by those of your profession. The rest, 2, 4, 6, are chosen freely. And you can increase your skill levels during the game. Beyond the core skills are secondary skills such as schools of magic. In this base game, hint, 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 expansions, you don't get a base chance in any secondary skills. But future expansions and supplements may modify this. To be fair, I do have a couple of supplements coming. They just released them. I don't know what's in them. I probably have the PDFs for them because I backed them, but I don't ever look at them before they come out. The only other thing that I know is an expansion is a bestiary book. So. Heroic ability. I think we're almost done. Yeah, getting close. Heroic abilities are special abilities that give you specific advantages and benefits in the games. From the other Year Zero Engine games, you'd probably recognize these as talents. You will find a range of heroic abilities described in the next chapter, and more can be added in future supplements. You start the game with one heroic ability determined by your profession. You can gain new heroic abilities during play. Note that some heroic abilities require a minimum skill level. Such requirements don't apply to your starting heroic ability, although I'm just going to tell you, it would be weird if you didn't meet the requirements. I'm going to be a fighter, but I'm giving my strength a 3.
Yeah, I'm gonna be a different fighter. No, you're going to be an elf who wants to be a dentist. Stop it.
Talks about weaknesses in here, but since it's an optional rule and this is a really long segment, I'm going to skip it. Mages. If you play a mage, you don't get any heroic ability at the start of the game. Your magic will make up for that disadvantage. Okay, whatever. Alternative methods. Okay, we figured that out. Weaknesses. If you want to roll your weaknesses, which I'm just gonna be honest, I like. Was it like White Wolf system? I like the strengths and flaws. I like having things like that built into characters. It's up to you if you want to do it. I think that they're beneficial though.
Yeah, but rolling is trouble. What if you're a mage and you roll 13?
So fearful of magic and evil force of mages cannot be trusted. Maybe there's a couple ways I'd handle that. One, re-roll because it just doesn't make sense. Or two, you're trying to overcome your fear. 3, you're the only one you can trust with it. I mean, yeah, those cop-out answers to some degree. Yeah, I'd say re-roll it. That's dumb, but I can see somebody wanting to role play it. As long as you're not detrimental to the group, I don't care. If you're, I can't cast a spell, guys. I can't cast it. When everybody's dying, get out of my game.
Yeah, leave.
Gear. You're going to start with gear. We already looked at kind of what it is, so I'm not going to read this section here. We will look at coins, though. Monetary transactions are generally made with silver coins. Copper coins are used for smaller transaction, and gold for the greedy people. 10 copper coins equals 1 silver. 10 silver equals 1 gold. Oh my God, thank you.
Yeah, that's normal.
It's kind of normal.
Okay, it's supposed to be normal.
Yeah, much older D&D did things differently. 5 platinum to a gold to 50 whatever the hell it was.
Yeah, electrum and palladium and all kinds of stuff. Yeah, they did weird stuff.
The coins you get when creating your character can be used to purchase additional starting gear, and you get a memento. I know it says optional here, but let's look at it because it is something I kind of read on. In addition to your other equipment, you can have a memento. An item of great sentimental value you always carry with you. Choose something suitable or roll on the table below. A memento is always a tiny item with no practical use, but once per gaming session, you can use your memento to recover an additional condition during a stretch rest. That's why I wanted to read this.
Okay.
This is an optional rule, guys. Remember, if it's in this green jade, this little jade monument here, this is an optional rule. If you lose your memento, you may choose a new item that you have found on your adventures at the end of the gaming session. I would not say that. I would say it's got to be something you've shown me that you've kind of liked and focused on.
Yeah.
But encumbrance works very. Nope, I can't say that. You guys might not have watched the other games. So it works just like the other Year Zero Engine games, with a tweak. So. Scroll over. You can carry a number of items equal to half of your strength rounded up. Again, there are some tweaks to this. Without difficulty. Only items written down in your inventory count towards your encumbrance. By the way, if it's not written down, you don't have it. Okay, let's put that in there also. You can have up to 3 weapons at hand, which means they're worn on your belt or otherwise readily available for use in combat. This is to stop the people who have 17 weapons on them from having them all accessible. You're not Batman. Well, Batman actually has small weapons, but you're not carrying 4 two-handed swords on you. Weapons kept at hand are recorded under weapons on the character sheet and do not count towards your encumbrance. Shields count as weapons and are also recorded here. Helmet, armor. Any helmet or armor worn on your body is recorded in its respective section and does not count towards encumbrance. Basically, things you wear don't count. Also, I bet you bags don't count, but we'll get to that in a moment. Up to 4 rations of food count as 1 item in terms of encumbrance. So hopefully this stuff isn't confusing you right now. Like, what the hell is an item? Think of an item as 1 line on your sheet. That's how I always talk about it when I run my Forbidden Lands game. I say, hey, that item is 1 line of encumbrance. A small item is half a line. A heavy item is 2 lines. But you're going to find something about this game. It goes above 2 lines. So always record the number of rations you have left in your inventory. Torches and lanterns. Torch, lamp, or lantern is an item. Fire may go out. Lamps and lanterns can be refilled with lamp oil. Arrows and sling stones. You do not have to count every arrow you are carrying. I know some of the old school gamers will, that's stupid. As long as you have the quiver, you can use your weapon. Sling stones do not need to be noted down at all. You're assumed to have enough of those. This game, for those of you who hate to deal with ammo tracking, is wonderful for you. I do not like this. I like the Forbidden Land system of counting ammo, which is abstract, but still you can run out. I'm just putting that out there for your edification. If you're like, oh, thank God, finally a game doesn't deal with that nonsense, then here you go.
There you go. It's great. Now, sling stones, I get. You have to be in a very specific type of environment to not be able to pick up a rock, right? I mean, there it is.
What are they? I don't know. All right. Backpack increases your carrying capacity by 2. It does not. The backpack itself does not count towards your encumbrance, but you can only carry 1 backpack at a time, unless you're carrying somebody else's, and then it's going to be part of encumbrance. Heavy items. Really heavy items count as 2, 3, or even more normal items in terms of encumbrance. These will be indicated by having weights of 2, 3, or 4, and so on. In your inventory, heavy items take up a number of rows. Okay, they call it rows here, not lines. Equal to its weight. If no weight is specified, it's always 1. Normal weight is 1 line.
Okay.
Tiny items that can be hidden in a closed fist, small and light items that can be closed, holding fists are called tiny. Items of this size do not affect your encumbrance at all. There's a caveat to that. Single coins count as tiny items and do not affect your encumbrance as long as they are fewer than 100. 100, 199 counts as 1 item. 200, 299 counts as 2, etc. Cash in those copper coins.
Yeah. Trade up. Copper to silver, silver to gold. Now, is that gonna help your encumbrance? Yes. Is it going to help the thief take a lot of your money all at once? Also, yes. So, tread wisely.
Okay. We're almost done, guys. We're almost done. I'm even bored of reading all of this right now. You can temporarily carry more. By the way, it's not the game's issue. It's a really long segment. That's why. You can temporarily carry more than your normal encumbrance limit. In that case, you must make a strength roll whenever you want to move in a round of combat or walk for a shift of travel. If the roll fails, you must either drop what you're carrying or stay where you are. That delineation between a round of combat or a shift of travel is important because you can move 5 freaking feet, okay? But if you're being attacked by somebody, a round of combat, maybe you can't.
Yeah. You're not going to do it in a way that's going to help you at all.
Right. Carrying others. Well, carrying another person, you automatically count as over encumbered and cannot fight in combat. You think?
Well,
what if you're carrying a duck by his foot?
Yeah, I know, right? What if you are the wolfkin who's like really tall, really big, and you can put a halfling on your back, right? And he would be 4 lines. I wouldn't call that automatically encumbrant. Nah, no.
If you have a horse or some other riding animal, the animal can carry your gear for you. Wagons and boats can carry even heavier loads. You can find the gear list on page 81, which will be, actually, we're going to skip to that next week. That's going to be after we talk about skills. We're going to talk about gear because it kind of fits in next week. Appearance, just a couple things to do. You can write down the appearance of what you look like, or you can roll on here. Nothing wrong with rolling if you want to. I prefer to come up with my own, but it's just a little memory jogger right there. Experience. All right. This is, I think, the last thing. Yes, last thing we're going to talk about, and we're going to do this a little slowly because this is how you improve your character. Everything we've done so far is about making the character. Well, how do you improve the character? How do you get new skills? How do you get new heroic abilities? Well, let's find out. Life as an adventurer brings many challenges, and if you survive, you are sure to change and maybe even learn a thing or two along the way, unless you play Traveler. Advancement marks. I'm a bad person. Advancement marks. When you have rolled a dragon or demon. Okay, let me get the dice out.
What are they? 1s or 6s?
Nope, 1s or 20s.
1s or 20s. Okay.
Yeah. And on the die, okay, I guess that's a dragon. And I guess that's a demon. All right, can you here? I can make myself bigger. I don't know if you're gonna be able to see this. I'm gonna make myself slowly out. So if you have the dice, come on, focus. That's the dragon. That's the 20. You can actually see the 20 in like the dragon's horns a little bit there. And I got to turn it the right side up. That's the 1 or the demon.
Okay.
Oh, now it's in focus. See, demons are in focus. You gotta like that, right? Okay, let's get me off the screen here. Boop and boop. Okay, if you roll a 1 or a 20, right? Where are we? When you roll a dragon or demon, when using a skill, tick the checkbox next to that skill. At the end of the game session, GM asks you the following questions about the session you just completed. For each question that you can reply yes to and justify your answer, you may place another advancement mark next to an unmarked skill of your choice. The GM has the final word, but should adopt a permissive attitude. This first one? No, do not ask this question. It's irrelevant. It's a dumb question. It's in all the free league games. No. Did you participate in the game session? Just showing up does not get you a point in my games. It's never going to happen. I'm never going to allow it. Now, did you show up? Did you participate effectively? You were not disruptive. You actually added to the session. This can be a small amount. You made the session better, then yes. Okay, that's me. But the book says, did you participate in the game session? Did you explore a new location? I would say it has to have some sort of inherent danger or perceived danger. What do you think? Just exploring a new location?
Whether there's danger or not, I mean, whether you think it's going to be dangerous or not, you're still learning something just by seeing something new. So I'd probably be permissive on that one.
Okay. I would say that there has to be some. Okay, you know what? I'll say there has to be some meaningfulness to it. How about that? Instead of inherent danger, there has to be some meaningfulness to it.
Okay, I'll buy that.
Did you defeat one or more dangerous adversaries? Okay. Yep. Did you overcome an obstacle without using force? I like that.
Yeah, let's go.
I actually like that one. That kind of reminds me of the Palladium stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Did you give in to your weakness if you're using it as an optional rule? Why would that give you a point?
Well, no, it fosters role play, so I understand it. I don't like it either.
Then I've changed that. Did you role play well? Okay, so but then you can put those ticks there, right? Mm-hmm. Those are optional rules. Advancement rolls. After placing your marks, roll a d20 for each of them. If the result exceeds your current skill level, it is increased by 1 up to a maximum. If you fail, the skill goes up.
Okay, so the better you are at something, the harder it is to fail, so the harder it is to go up.
Right.
Okay.
I was gonna wait to see if you caught the Call of Cthulhu reference there.
Yeah.
Because that's very much like how
very
Chaos
much how Call of Cthulhu works. Yeah.
Just with percentile dice. Yep. Once you have made your advancement roll, erase the marks and start over in the next game session. This is one of the things I love about Chaosium, and one of the things I'm a huge fan of this. And the reason I am is because I like randomness. Not everybody goes up the same
rate.
Right. And yes, you might have you might have that 17, because remember 18 is maximum, right? So you only have 3. I have to roll a 20, a 19, or 18 to do this and get it. Somebody else might need a 6 or higher and fail. I like that. You just didn't learn. You thought you learned something, but you didn't. Hey, the experience still helped you, though. Let's move on. As a player, maybe you learn something, hopefully. But anyway, I like it conceptually. I like that, sometimes you're just so pig-headed, you didn't really learn something from it. Now, teacher, a shift of intense training with a teacher whose skill level is 15 or higher and exceeds your own gives you an additional advancement roll to improve the skill in question. Just a shift? I can learn demon lore from 15 minutes?
No, a shift is 6 hours.
Oh no, that's right.
is
Stretch.
15
Stretch
minutes.
is 50 minutes. You're right.
Yeah.
Good correction. Good
But
correction.
still, the same preposterousness applies. 6 hours and you rank up? No. 6 hours and you gain a usable skill? No. I'm gonna go no on that one.
Yeah, I guess I'm too old. I'm one of those people that I like training times that take weeks.
They should. I mean,
Yeah.
you don't get a useful battle skill in 6 hours. You can't learn from nothing to being a competent fisherman. I'm not saying great. If you have the skill, you are considered competent, right? So
Yeah.
going from nothing to competent should be more than 6 hours of training, especially physical skills.
And no matter what you think, because you did your 1 month, you can't take 1 month of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and call yourself an MMA MMA fighter.
You are
Like,
not competent yet.
yeah. So, but I do it every day. Yeah, and you're getting better. You still got a couple months to go. So anyway, however, the teacher can only raise a skill by 1. After that, you must improve the skill through experience before you can get more help from a teacher. Teachers, especially those with high skill levels, are usually very expensive. Magic, a school of magic that you already know can be improved like any other skill. Cool. However, learning new spells and new schools of magic requires special training.
Wait. Money hack. There's a money hack in this game. If you have a skill of 15 or higher, you can sell your knowledge at any town, any city, whatever, for buku money and make bank in just 6 hours. What? What? Come on.
Yeah, I'm house ruling that one in my game. All right. So for more information, see Chapter 5. We'll get to magic in the last week, which will be like a month from now. So heroic abilities. You can earn new heroic abilities during play in 2 ways. When you increase your skill level to 18, you immediately gain a new heroic ability of your choice. That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
If the skill level is reduced below 18 for any reason, you keep the heroic ability, and you'll even gain a new ability if the skill level is increased to 18 again. Okay, that's okay. After a granted heroic deed, the GM or the adventurer can reward you with a heroic ability. This should be a rare event, never more than once per standard length adventure. Okay, it's kind of like another reward for you. Okay. To earn a new heroic ability, you must meet its skill requirement.
Sure.
That's interesting. So the only way you can do it is to do something heroic during the adventure after a grand heroic deed or get to 18. Okay. I was thinking you'd be able to spend points like you can in the other games, but that's it. Okay, that was long, guys. I know it was long, but this was everything to do with character creation. Character creation is pretty short if you really look at it. It's actually pretty short, pretty quick, pretty simple. Picking the skills, but there are a lot of
Especially if you're
options.
rolling everything.
Yeah,
really
okay, that's fair if you want to roll everything. And there are just a lot of options available to you, with 10 classes or professions, the 6 races and so forth. It's enough to get you started. I like it generally. There are a couple, we busted the balls on a couple of things here. I generally like it. And next week, we're going to talk about the skills, the heroic abilities, and gear that you get at this point. So go ahead, Heathen Dog, and get us those comments so we can get to your segment.
Oh, I didn't get any comments.
I wasn't able to read chat because I was reading, so I have no clue what anybody said.
I know.
Can you scroll back?
Oh, yeah. Rex Steele says about the experience thing. Maybe discovering a new significant location. Yeah. Well, yeah, and that gives some randomness to experience, but players usually don't like that. Where experience points are randomly given, whether or not you randomly found someplace important. And then Margman says risk and effort could be something like not just risk. Was it risky? Or did it take a lot of effort to get to this area? Then you would have learned something along the way, right? So I understand that too. I get it. There's a lot of ways the game master can finagle the experience examples.
Yeah, what I want to avoid though are players complaining, well, we found a different tavern. That's a new location. I'm being hyperbolic.
No.
But you know that they'll do that.
They will. So yes. The game master should have leeway in what those sentences mean for his game. Just if you're the game master, make sure that you give the players a heads up that I'm the interpreter of this.
By the way, I think I got it. Yeah, I got it. By the way, I got it backward, guys. This is actually the dragon. The wings are the dragon. The horns are the demon. I said it the other way around earlier.
Oh,
Whatever.
Sorry. The Malachi says, do you have the equipment to train? Do you have a place to do the training, the proper paperwork and fees with a local official taken care of? There's a lot of ways to hinder a player from training, and Max is good at all of them. All right, so yes, he would definitely use all of these things against us. Number 1 was money. Number 2 was finding a trainer. Number 3 is, is it safe? Do you have a safe place to train? Number 4, can you get enough sleep? He'll have a freaking laundry list of if you don't check off every single box. And sorry, dude, you can't train.
You're training for 8 hours a day. So no, you don't have time to do all the other stuff you want to do. You're tired after training. You're learning after training. You got homework to do after training. So no, you are not making 19 potions, learning new spells, gaining a new level, crafting a new sword.
Hey, you know what? There's 24 hours in a day. 8 for the trainer, 8 for me, 8 for sleep. There you go. What about food? Somebody else is making my food. Shut up. They just shovel in my mouth.
I got
I'm sleeping. They drop my mouth and then they massage my neck and then I swallow it. That's how it works. Shut up.
Oh, wait, what was it? Rick and Morty, the night people.
The night. Yeah. I could be a night person. There you go. Awesome. I'm gonna get 8-pack.
Why don't you clean the dishes? All right. Well, with that, sorry if we missed some really good chat out there, but that happened, and I appreciate you guys sitting through that. This is probably going to be the longest segment of the 4 weeks, but there was really no breaking point in this. We had to go through it all. I hope you enjoyed it. Now you basically understand what it means to make a character. And now if you're sitting and go, but we don't know what the skills do and we don't know what these heroic abilities are. Well, we're going to find out about that next week. And by the end of next week, you're going to know everything about your character. And then 2 weeks from now, we'll talk about combat. And then the last day, we're going to talk about magic. So by the time we're done, you're going to know everything. So I look forward to seeing y'all then.